My commitment for anyone who is over age 50 is that the Social Security and Medicare that you paid for, that you've earned, will be there for me. If you're under age 50, we're going to need to make some changes to make sure that the system is there for you. In the primary on August 14th, there are 169 cities and towns in the state of Connecticut. The community that had the largest turnout in that primary election was my little hometown of Goshen, where 60% of voters turned out in a primary. That was the good news. The better news was, by a margin of 5-1, they supported me over all three of my opponents combined. And that outcome repeated itself in Litchfield and Sharon and Torrington and New Milford. The message being that the people who know me best are the people that are most comfortable to give me the opportunity to be their voice in the United States Congress at such a critical time in our nation's history. And I'm going to spend the next 22 days trying to earn your confidence, the confidence of your families, the confidence of your neighbors. And when I succeed, I'm going to be an optimist. When I succeed, I'm going to be back here, if Mark will allow me and extend me an invitation, I'm going to be back here giving you the real scoop as to what's really going on down there. And my success will be measured by your success. If the people of Avon and Canton are doing better, if your businesses are growing, if your schools are succeeding, if I can be a partner in your success, that's how I will measure my success. So now I will keep to my word and be quiet and take your questions. Thank you for your attention. Don't let me forget to give you your $10. My driver is out there. He has my wallet.
I just have, maybe he's gone out there.
It's already all set.
All right, it's all set.
I just have one comment, because we see on the federal level and now down to the state level how everything is attack and nothing is about substance. Nothing is about information and what somebody's going to do for you. And I know, Mark, we invited both candidates, right?
Oh, yes.
And what's disappointing is we get a quality candidate to come out, and the other candidate sends a film crew to try to do a gotcha. And that, I think that's telling about both candidates. And I just wanted to thank you. And it's hard for people to stand up and run for office now because your family life is just put on a grill. And thank you for running. And I'm sorry you have to go through the types of attacks and this kind of antics. But
it comes with the territory. You know, we made a mistake of putting up a positive TV ad. I don't know if anyone caught it, but out of the box, the opposition, they started right in hammering away with these negative, unfounded attacks. We started and spent a lot of money that we've worked hard to raise on a positive TV ad, trying to introduce the voters to me and what I hope to do for them in Washington, D.C. I think it's the only positive ad that's been on in this entire election cycle. And let me tell you, the first bill I'm going to introduce as a member of Congress is a bill that's going to afford to every woman in America the same protections that women in Connecticut now enjoy, something that we've done in Hartford that needs to be done in Washington, D.C. And that's to, has anyone heard of a program called Are You Dense? Are You Dense is an initiative started by a woman in Connecticut to make sure that women with dense breast tissue don't rely on conventional mammograms as a means to detect early stage breast cancer. Because conventional mammograms don't do the trick. If you have dense breast tissue, you need an ultrasound to have the peace of mind that you've been thoroughly screened. So in 2007, the Connecticut legislature passed a bill requiring people that administer mammograms to notify women with dense breast tissue that they should do more if they want to have peace of mind. In 2011, we passed a bill requiring insurance companies to cover that additional screening. I don't think, well, I think that every woman in America ought to enjoy the same protection that women in Connecticut now enjoy. So the very first bill that I'm going to bring to the Speaker's desk is a bill to bring that protection to every woman in America. So you're talking about issues, talking about things that we hope to do. That's what I believe campaigns should be about, and certainly that's where I'm going to focus my attention over the next 22 days.
Andrew?
All right.
We've heard a lot
I go back to the podium.
There you
probably do that.
We've heard a lot about, you know, closing the
budget gap and the deficit and so forth. And the question always seems to be out there that if you were offered $10 of revenue decreases for $1 of tax increase in order to do that, how would you feel about that kind of a proposal, and would you be supportive of it?
Well, I got in trouble in the primary because we were asked that question. And my answer was, if I was offered $10 in real spending reductions. By the way, I haven't signed Grover Norquist's pledge. That may make some of you mad. That may make some of you happy. But I didn't want to sign a pledge when I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And I didn't want to paint myself into a corner. I'd rather have you be mad at me for not signing a pledge than have you think that your member of Congress is a dishonest person who breaks a promise. The reality is, if we came up with $10 in real spending reductions, and we need to bridge that gap, remember 14%, 25%, we can't bridge that gap without serious reductions in spending. But if they came with serious reductions in spending, I would be open to raising revenue to a much lesser degree by closing a lot of tax loopholes, which I think about their usefulness. What I have learned in Hartford, however, is there should be no talk about enhancing revenue unless and until you have spending decreases in hand. Because the part we forgot in Hartford was the reducing spending part. We certainly didn't forget the one-party rule, and it's the other party. They certainly didn't forget about the revenue enhancement. They went all in with the revenue enhancement. But they forgot the spending reduction part. And that's what's brought us to the predicament that we're in today. So I'm not an absolutist. The only thing I'm an absolutist about is committing myself to finding common ground. That's the absolutist principle to which I'm led. So your attention is a gift. Please continue to watch and read and be, whenever a TV ad says at the end of it, paid for by the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, please take it with a grain of salt because their playbook is quite disheartening for those of us who think we should be having an intelligent debate on the issues. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Would everybody please rise?